Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Bacon Cast, where we talk about technological advancements in news. I'm your main host, Ethan Jennings, aka Bacon, and here's your co host.
Kenny Owuna, what's up, y'all?
Alright, so let's get it popping right off the bat. No time to lose. Our first topic of the day is self driving cars. I know how everybody feels about this, and there's a lot of people that say that it's cool. I think it's cool personally, and a lot of people are like, no, I'm not gonna let a car drive me so I can crash and burn, you know what I mean? But I personally think that, as technology gets better, the driving will as well. I mean, it's already very well, it's very good, and just the main feature that most cars that aren't self driving have today, where if you're about to collide with something, it stops you. That's just foolproof. That's like, it shows you that if a car has full control, what it really can do. So imagine the car having full control of just being able to stop you from colliding with something. Now it has full control of driving. I think it's cool. A lot of people think it's cool, but a lot of other people are concerned of their safety because a car could crash, and then yeah, it's not your fault, it's the car's fault then, because you weren't driving. Then you get to sue the company because their car made you go boom. So, how do you feel about this, Kenny?
Yeah, um, you know, cars is just my thing. But, okay, so this might be a little bit controversial, but like, flying cars are useless. Sorry, let's be real. Flying cars are useless. What's the point of airplanes if you can't just sit back and relax, enjoy some nice, well paid with capitalism money food from a stewardess or whatever their names are, you know, like, or occupation, not names. But you know what I'm saying? Like, first class, you don't value that as an airplane. Let's keep that separated. Am I saying that it won't be cool when we have super tall skyscrapers and, way different, technological advancements? Absolutely not. We might actually need flying cars, but as of right now, let me keep my JDMs, let me keep my Supras, let me keep my, Camaros, because those are the type of things as a man that I value. Like, I value fast cars that you can drive and drift around in. That is cool to me. So a flying car, that's not really too much of my cup of tea. Of course, I would get one because why not? But the other thing that I'm also worried about is you don't want to have a flying car, you know what I'm saying? And you flying vroom vroom and your car goes boom boom. Like, you don't really want that. That might be a little, bad, because how are you going to, like, how are you supposed, like, what first of all, what energy source, what type of fuel are we using that is going to that's gonna lift up a car? You know what I'm saying? Like, let's think about that first. So, you know, as of most of, because what we usually talk about is technological advancements and things that are in the future. So, my stance is really just, I don't know. I really don't know, man.
Like, like what you're saying, it's all true, because you have to think about it logically. You could just go on a plane and fly somewhere, have, have the people take care of you with, pay the money, you get on the plane and you go to wherever you need to go. But then with now with flying cars, if we do get flying cars, then you're gonna be first and foremost, you're not gonna know how to fly it. It's not gonna be as easy as it looks in the movies. Because
Yeah.
just imagine you training to be a pilot, like, of an actual plane. That takes years. Imagine having to train to fly a car. You're gonna have to train, and you're gonna have to get another type of license as well. So there's gonna be a new license if we do get them. And then on top of that, like you said, it wouldn't really be useful because, all that work just to, like, fly and, like, get somewhere maybe a little bit faster than you would have on land. It's really just you thinking that it's cool. And then another thing that has me uh provoked about that is the fact that people think that it's gonna come easy. Like, we have self-driving cars, and they drive themselves places and such. But imagine if you don't have the self-driving while you're like a bunch of miles up in the air, like you're really high up in the air. If that thing crashes or anything, it's gonna be more than just my insurance will cover it. My car insurance. You're gonna need car insurance, life insurance, medical insurance, everything. It doesn't matter. You're gonna be coming out of your pockets for this, man. And
Not to mention, not just the not just insurance, but maybe maybe also a will, because you'll be dead.
oh yeah, there's no way that you will survive a flying car crash midair. I'm sorry to burst your bubble, but it's not gonna happen. Like, I know you might make it out, like someone might like make it out, like maybe shoot out the top of the car or shoot out like the front window when the glass breaks, but then they have to fall like a million feet out of like midair and then hit the ground. Unless you're like over ocean or something, maybe you'll fall in the ocean and you'll float back up to the top and you'll float to like a desert island or whatever, and you'll be there for the rest of your miserable days just because you decided that you wanted a car that goes fly.
Yeah, definitely.
It's a lot, and I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying it wouldn't be cool. Flying cars would be cool. I won't deny it, but it would also be very dangerous and messy, and people would get hurt, and they would not be able to recover from that type of car crash. It's the same thing, because you're really not going to be moving at the speed of a normal car, because you have to think about that type of technological advancement as well, a speed increase. So now you're like moving at the speed of an airplane, and then you crash into somebody else's flying car who's also moving at the speed of an airplane. Yeah, say goodbye.
Yeah. So that's just something that I don't really think that I want personally. So I'll be all right. I'll be all right. But it is what it is.
Yeah, like, I could see like self-driving cars on land, like I said before. I can see that. That's reasonable, because we already know how to drive, and the car knows how to drive as well, so I think it'll be fine. Unless you get into an accident, because then you get hurt, and if you do recover from it, you get to sue the brakes off whatever company's car made that, or whatever company made that car. So kudos to you, more money.
Yeah. I mean, that is like quite a dilemma though, because it's just like you're gambling. Like, hey, do I want to maybe crash into a skyscraper or hit someone in midair at 200 miles per hour, or or do I want to like write a will, or and just die? Like that to me, I feel like you're putting too much on the line, and people haven't really like thought that through. What are we gonna have as lanes? Flares, like floating flares? Come on, Tia. Like, I need humanity to be a lot smarter, because I feel like we're trying to jump ahead of ourselves and look into what these new movies are dishing out and what this new CGI can do. But in reality, CGI is just a computer. So let's stop and think about what are we actually doing, because whatever that, like, we can create something that might be very dumb, and next thing you know, Earth has turned into an I Am Legend landscape. Next thing you know, we have robots that are trying to sacrifice us all to the moon gods. Like, like, you just have to be smart, and you just have to be focused on what your true goal is, and you have to make sure that it can actually work. If a technological advancement can't really, see itself working and useful for everyone 10 years down the road, don't make it at all. Because I bet you all of the rich scums that don't, that hoard all their money and only do things for themselves, they're gonna buy it all. And what it's gonna do, it's gonna start separating our society between people who are, on the lower level, who don't have flying cars or who don't live in the sky houses. Do you see what I'm saying, Ethan?
Like, there's always going to be the societal totem pole, so to speak. And it legitimately doesn't matter. Humans are power hungry. We are all greedy scumbags, especially us capitalists. I'll be the first to admit it. Capitalism is great, but it leads to people being greedy. It's just by nature. And like you said, people have to start to think about how things are gonna end. Like, what's the end game? What's really the end game for all of this? Like, for instance, last week, I think it was last week on the podcast, we were talking about how technology kind of becomes obsolete very quickly and people don't care about it anymore. A perfect example, as we stated, was Disney Infinity and Toys to Life. But another good example that I'd like to bring onto the table is way back in the day when cars were first invented and people were rolling around in their cars that were blowing out like a bunch of smoke and steam out of it. They had a thing, because their cars weren't that fast really, and they were like, oh, we're hitting people on accident, so we need to like find a way to do this. So they invented a thing that would come out in front of the car when it hits somebody, and like it would fold out like a flap and like have like a kind of airbag type thing, so the person that they hit would be fine or whatever. Nowadays that wouldn't work, because like I said, our cars are way faster. Like I would say that their cars moved like at a quarter of the fraction of speed that ours does or do right now. So it doesn't matter if you put an airbag on that car. If you impact it's that type of speed and hit a human, it's over for them. Especially, even the airbag might even hurt them, or the little flap that folds down, it might even hurt them on the way.
Yep.
Because then what if it doesn't deploy with them on it? What if it deploys with them like under it? Then it's like something on top of them as you grind your car over their body. You gotta think about this, humans.
Oh my god.
You guys, like, and they were actually like, they had this as technology, and now they can see why it's a bad idea. I hope whoever invented that is out there listening to this. I hope you realize what you've done.
Yeah. So that's just like, let's be real, man. Like, it's just like, as you really think about it more and more, come on, it's not, it's just not smart. But I mean, if you want, just be my guest, I guess. That's all you can really say, to each his own. But I mean, hey.
Yeah, it's just people are never going to have a good concept of what we're doing. We don't really know where the future is going to go, but it is what it is. All we can think of is moving on, and you gotta fail in order to succeed and find the next technological advancement. That's what the show's about. That's what we're talking about. And with that being said, we must move on to the second topic presented by Kenny.
Oh yes, sir. So the second topic today, the second topic today is about cancel culture. So basically, how do you say? If you don't know what that is, I don't know if you've been under a rock, but lately a lot of people have been doing these things. Maybe it's been going on for a while, but people do this thing where they cancel people because they've maybe made a statement or they've made a political stance, and it makes society or fans see them as less, and they bash them in a multitude of ways with just very, very, it's just not okay. But I definitely wanted to just tell, because me personally, you know what I'm saying, you know who I am, Kenny, I am an advocate to advocate for, people, for those who can't talk, for, just for the voiceless, you know what I'm saying? And that I really do enjoy, I really, really do enjoy doing that. So, when it comes to cancel culture, I feel like cancel culture is just like a toxic way of Karens. Yes, Karens. Just it's like little Karens, basically. You have those Karens that are like a live action, like literally in person attacking people and just making their days horrible by, you know, I don't even know, like maybe there's a Karen code out there that we haven't unlocked, but we need to find it and burn it. But it's just like there are, Karens out there who do things like that, who just really know how to tick you off. But then there are also kids who have that same kind of like mindset, or maybe not even mindset, but have that same like action track. You know what I'm saying? And like their track of actions are things of that sort. And it's come like I've realized that cancel culture is really just a way for people, especially when it comes, because cancel culture is kind of it always revolves around celebrities. Maybe I'm trying to think of a recent person canceled. I don't know if anyone listening has ever heard of the Dream SMP. It's basically a server on Minecraft. It's a pretty cool server. They basically just make like a lot of content. There was an issue that happened, and I think her name is Valkyrie from the Thieves Gaming Group. I think that's what her name is, or her YouTube tag, or whatever. So she came and and she said something like controversial, I think. And all the Twitch chats and YouTube chats and Twitter, they went crazy and reposted it and made her look like a really bad person. And that's what cancel culture is basically just trying to take away stripes. You know what I'm saying? After all that they've built. And that, to me, is one of the things that upsets me the most about like this cancel culture and cancel mindset, because it's like, let me ask you this, right? Someone who believes in cancel culture or has even done it or supported it before, you're not a creator. You don't know what it takes to, even for people like me and Ethan that create and make technology or make games, build games, you know what I mean? You don't know what it takes to do that stuff. You don't know what it takes to show your face and record a video, because I bet you, even though like, for popular YouTubers, they all have, the positive comments, oh my gosh, I love your videos, or this was my favorite part, or this was the funniest part, and they have the little timestamps. That's a majority of society. That's 75, 80%, maybe 90. But the reality of this world is that there will always be somebody who hates you, and the one who's preying on your downfall and trying to get you. And those comments will be there. Those dislikes will be there, because that's what cancel culture is about. It's just about hating someone without really understanding what they've been through, just because they didn't upload a certain time of the week, or they said something about, maybe because a lot of people have been getting canceled for racism, LGBTQ, just a lot of controversial things, because the world as we know it is getting more and more controversial. But cancel culture just isn't like, it's just not it, chief. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't know what somebody's done to get far. You don't know what might go through somebody's mind when they start recording and put their face cam on, and to get hate like that and to be canceled for, maybe for making a stance, for being a creator, a YouTuber, a Twitch streamer, anything in general. Just doing that, I feel like you should at least respect that and say, okay, but I'll keep this personal thing to myself. I think I might have said this before on a previous episode, but at the elementary school that I went to, the people used to always tell us MYOB, which is very cringy, my lord. But that's what they used to tell us lower classmen, because I believe it was a K through 12 school. So if you weren't minding your own business, if you were talking to someone who you shouldn't be talking to, if you were in a conversation that you eavesdropping, everybody would just turn on you like you're a villain and just start screaming MYOB and kick you out of wherever you just were. And that's, I feel like not everybody really remembered that. Not everybody really remembered, like, just to mind your own business. And that might have just been me, but, well, it will never just be me. There are too many people in this world for it to just be me, but it's just like, if you weren't like drilled like business and be yourself vibe. If that lesson wasn't drilled into you early, then you should at least know that, like, yo, this is somebody's job. This is somebody's profession. Somebody comes on this computer and sits here and plays games or records videos for an audience, for however many thousand people, or even however many hundred people, or even tens of people. For it might be for, but for that specific person, those people who want to come onto it and say, oh, our comedic relief, or you see what I'm saying? So that's what being a YouTuber is about. It's just like, if you didn't learn that lesson early enough to just mind your own business and respect others, then you got to learn it now. And we shouldn't make being disrespectful a thing. We shouldn't make it a culture, because if we want to, let's go to our good friend Google. How do you type culture? CULTURE. Definition, please. The definition of culture is the arts and other manifestations of human intellectual achievement regarded collectively. So, one word that I heard in there was intellectual, meaning you have to have an IQ. You got to be smart, Cancel culture isn't something that everybody looks at and says, not like me and my friend go to capitalism. When somebody says capitalism, I say, yeah, capitalism, with a big smile on my face. But for something like cancel culture, like, it's really just, for anybody that has any shred of, moral respect and respect of their own selves, and someone else who has lives, whatever they had to do, like that's just like not, like it just makes me feel some type of way. And I just feel like it should be like removed and dismantled ASAP, because the people that have lived their lives and are living their lives, and the people with with some intellectual mindset, should be like, yo, this ain't it. Just business and live your life. If this person isn't pleasing you, move on. Find a new creator. Find a new person. Find a new social celebrity like watching or listening to. So, Ethan, now that I've, kind of said my piece about cancel culture, how do you feel about that?
I essentially feel the same way, like, don't down somebody else for something, like a mistake that they made. Like, that's the main thing with me. If I make a mistake, no matter how bad it was, I kind of expect you guys to forgive me, for people to forgive me, and I would do the same for anybody, It doesn't matter, how bad they've been before. It's still my obligation as a human being to be like, you know what, let me give you another chance, because maybe they'll be better this time. And if they aren't better this time, then that starts to set the stage for something else. After a while of you doing whatever it is, and I'm like, okay, then I feel some sort of way. I feel kind of betrayed. And then I start to, go off chart and handle things my way. Like, I can see, like, if you were to cancel somebody after they did it, like, multiple times, like, with, like, no remorse or whatever, and, even if they apologize, even if they keep apologizing, after a while you're just kind of like, oh, well, this is going to go on forever if we don't do something. Then, do something, say something, speak out or whatever, make it worth something. But, just for somebody to do something 1 to even 3 times, like, you got up to like 3 times to get this right, man. After that 3rd time, I guess it's fair game with cancel culture. But, if they do something once or even twice, it's like, man, just kind of chill. They're trying their best, because not only do they have the pressure of being a content creator and an influencer and having to manage all of this stuff, because trust me, it's hard. It's not easy. It's very difficult. Now they have the pressure of, canceling and stuff. It's really, like, dumb. It's really stupid. And I don't get why people are like this. No, I do. I guess it's a sort of dominance type thing, humans asserting their dominance over one another. But in this case, it's just really just trying to knock someone down a peg or two to try to get above them. Because humanity, it doesn't matter who you are, you're always trying to be on top. In something. In anything, really. It doesn't matter who you are or where you come from. You're always trying to be on top of something, and even in the moments where you think you aren't, you subliminally are. Your brain just forces you to, because it's a primal instinct. It dates all the way back to cavemen and whatnot, asserting their dominance on one another. And I think it's really dumb, because it really just went from that to something a little bit different. That's all it is. It's just a little more modern. And yeah, for someone to cancel somebody, or for a group of people to cancel somebody, it has to really be a group. It can't really just be one person, unless they're like the president of the United States or something. Then yeah, you're officially canceled. It's over. I'm sorry. But if it were somebody else, just random or whatever, even if it were another equal or even a little bit better content creator, that still doesn't justify it. So all I'm trying to really say is, like Kenny said, MYOB, mind your own business. Just keep to yourself. Do what you gotta do. Keep going. Do whatever concerns you and the people that you love and whatnot. And, stay on that grind. Get that bread. Get that bread all the day long. All day long. And a wise man once told me, stack your bread. And it's true. It doesn't matter what you do once you stack your bread. Just, keep to yourself. Or mind your own business. And,
Yes, sir.
yeah.
Yes, sir. Stack that bread, man. Get that cash. All right. Well, I appreciate that thought, Ethan. I think I'll take that advice and get that bread. Maybe I'll go to work this weekend. So I've been a little lazy lately. But yeah, like there's just things that I think humanity still needs to learn, and instead of especially racism, like I feel like that's a topic. So I feel like that's a topic that's just so simple but so fragile that like it's gonna be even hard to talk about. Racism is such a small concept. It's just so small-minded, but it has so many ties to it that makes it such a big thing. Like, the bottom line is, why do you treat someone differently because they have more of the same thing that you have in your skin? Melanin, everybody has melanin, but darker people, African Americans, even because racism isn't just a black people. It's to Spanish people, it's to Asian people, many other races and ethnicities. But why someone differently? Because of different facial features or because of different pigment cells. You know what I'm saying? Like that, like humanity just has a lot of things to learn, and that in itself is just, you know what I'm saying? It's just so simple. It's just so simple. People just need to get a little bit smarter and just focus on themselves. Like, get your bag up. Stop worrying about like other people. You know what I'm saying? Get like, My advice to anybody listening is just tee up, turn up, do better. Do better. Don't be sorry. Just be better. It's okay.
So I've got a final piece here. This is developer news, game developer news. So if you're a game developer, listen very well to me, everybody. There's a new game jam out there, and I really think that you guys are going to love it. All of my listeners here that are game developers, even aspiring game developers, I think that you're going to have fun with this. It is the Party Jam hosted by GameJolt himself, and Amazon and Beamable, I think it is. It's Beamable, right? Yeah, it's Beamable. So, the Party Jam is a game jam where you make a party game from, if you don't know what a game jam is, it's making a game in a certain time limit. So, it runs from June 21st to July 1st. So you've got 10 days to make a game, and the prizes are very great. $5,000 plus a Twitch TV homepage feature, and you get to pitch your game to publishers. That's first place. Second place is $2,000 with the past features as well, and third place is $1,000 with the past features as well. So, not including the money with past features. So, get out there, everybody. Make a game for the Party Jam. I'm not sponsored by them. I want to be sponsored by somebody, but I think it's really cool, and I will be participating, so stay tuned for that, everybody. Especially if you're a developer.
Yes, sir. We should maybe do something about that. Ooh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know, I'm still coming up with ideas for that jam. I'm gonna participate. I don't know how, but I will participate. I mean, I do know how. I'm gonna make a game and submit it, but yeah. Yeah, if you're down for it, we can do it, so, all of these viewers, just make sure you catch our Game Jam game, whatever it's gonna be out there. You'll see it on the 1st of July, right? That's the dates. I'm sure it is. It's the 1st of July, 2021. If you're listening to this in 2022, I'm sorry. But,
yeah. God, I'm sorry. Hey, look. If you don't know how to, if you don't know how to, make a game, let me let you on to something. There's this site. It's called Scratch. Go ahead and check that out. Yeah.
That's like the best stomping ground for anybody. If you're just interested in just throwing together something, seeing what you got in the game development department. And also, Unity Learn is free as well now, so anybody who wants to learn Unity, which is the game engine I use to make my games, and the game engine that, a lot of indie developers use to make their games, they support 2D and 3D games, and Unity Learn right now is free, so, it used to cost money to have like a premium version, then there used to be a free version, but now it's 100% free. I don't know how long it's gonna last, they haven't said, but check it out. It's really great. I wish I had it. I wish it was free when I was still learning how to develop games, so that would have been amazing. But, I'll throw some links up in the description, and I'll probably put a little tag up at the top. But, with that being said, I would also like to string this into a small topic of game jams. I don't know how everybody else feels about these, but game jams are amazing. They're kind of stressful towards the end if you didn't get your game all in line. And like I said before, a game jam is kind of get together. You take a bunch of other developers, or you do it yourself, and you basically have a certain amount of time to make a game with a set theme. So if the theme is, magic, for instance, then you make a game about magic under a certain time constraint. And I think it's really fun. I've done like 15, I think, around that, or not. I'll check it out, but yeah, I've done a bunch of them. I think they're really fun and very addictive because it really gets your brain moving, because you gotta be very quick thinking to be able to fix problems and bugs fast. But if you're a starting developer, I would recommend joining a game jam, probably a longer one than 10 days, I would say a month maybe, or even like a jam that lasts 2 weeks, that's 14 days, so, I would definitely recommend doing that to get some more experience and whatnot, because, in the long run, you're going to sit down, you're going to say, oh, well, I made this game for a game jam, and I learned a lot, so I know this and this and this now. Like, that's legitimately how game developers do. We kind of say, oh, I don't think I remember how to do this, and then you think, oh, well, I made a game for a game jam, and it had this feature in it, so now I know how to do that, and you just think back to it, and or just open up the file with your the scripting for that project in it, and then pull it out and just like take it, modify it a little bit. But it's whatever. How do you feel about game jams, Kenny?
Well, hey, look, man, Game Jam is just, you know, I'm pretty sure I've actually competed in one before. I think we competed in one together. I don't even remember. But Game Jam, as in like the global Game Jam that we went to.
Yeah.
Oh, then yes, sir. Yeah, Ethan's gonna put all of that in the description because those are very, very fun. Ethan and I went to one. I think it was last year. Yeah, because it was obviously before COVID, but those things are really, really great. They're just like, even if you go just to spectate, if you go just to maybe join a team and watch, if they permit that, I'm just speaking of what I know from what I attended last time. It's really, really great if you just want to get started, get into the world of coding and games and stuff, especially if they do the game jams with like big communities. We did ours at Big Huge Games. So like that, to me, it's really, really cool. I think if you're an aspiring developer, aspiring creative dev like me, you'll love it. You'll love it because it's just a space for you to let your ideas out. And when I went, I didn't necessarily do a lot of coding. I didn't do a lot of sitting in chairs and just typing away. But what I did was I repeatedly looked at the boards. I repeatedly looked at the builds of the codes that my team was making, and I looked at it and I said, what if we change this, and what if we do that? So that's what a creative dev is about. It's about giving ideas and bringing something new to the table. So I think if you just want to get into the game world, I think you would really, really want to join one of that. So yeah, definitely check that out if you have the time.
Yeah, and like Kenny said, it's really fun. And next year, I'm sure COVID's gonna clear up because they're starting to let people that are vaccinated in certain public places without masks. So that's amazing. In the United States, of course. If you're not here, I don't know what you've got in your country, but yeah, like Kenny said, we went over. It was great. I did some art for the game that we did, and I did a little bit of programming and scripting stuff. And who was it? It was also my sister. I'll throw her thing down in the description or throw something up on the screen for you. She's Watermelon Ree on YouTube, so check her out. And she did a bunch of the art for the game as well. She did some art, and we had a bunch of other teammates. They helped a lot as well. And we threw together a game in, what was it, like 3 days, I think? That was a very short game jam, but it was fun. They gave us food and they supplied us with sustenance and coffee and sweet, delectable delights. So that was great as well.
Sustenance.
They kept us fed. So yeah, if you're really looking into getting into game development, and especially if you're in Maryland, that's the state we're in, please come down to Big Huge Games or whatever game jamming sites we have for the global game jam next year, because I'm sure everything will be cleared up and we'll be able to do things in person again. So this year was obviously not in person because coronavirus, but next year I think we'll be fine. So come see us down there. If you know the podcast, you'll probably notice us from one, our voices, and two, everywhere we go we have logos and stuff everywhere, so you'll see us eventually, and we'll probably be live streaming stuff as well, so come find us. With that being said, we have to wrap up this podcast episode. It's been good. We talked about a lot. Game jamming, talked about cancel culture, and what else did we talk about at the beginning? I rambled a bit, but
we talked about flying cars.
We talked about flying cars and self-driving cars, automation. Yeah, that was great. So
those
with that
cars that go vroom vroom boom boom.
yes, those. So yeah, with that being said, we are going to wrap up this podcast. We will see you all later. Make sure to check out our indie game, Rainbow Repo. We'll throw links in the description. And please check out our website and share this podcast with friends, family, etc., etc. We will see
Share it
you
with
later.
your dog.
Share it with your dog. Yes, your pets.
Make sure to like the podcast, subscribe on whatever platform you're on. Is that all the promos?
That is. I think so.
All
I
right.
think we're good.
Without further ado, y'all, we will see you guys next time. Peace.